um, the regular stock market. So,
Go for it.
are we recording? Are we live?
Yep.
Oh, hello and welcome to the Cash Furnace. My name is Paul Kinzerski, and together with my co-host Eric Downs, we aim to become your go-to source for stock and crypto market news. Today, who buddy? We're going to talk about the market downs of both Bitcoin and the stock market, where we see things going, some psychology behind it, why we think it might have happened. We hope you enjoy. If you like what you see, you know what to do. Hit those three buttons: like, comment, subscribe, share it with a friend. Help us make more people more money. And with that, let's get into this very, very bloody day.
That's all I have to say.
Oh
That's all
yes,
I have to
it
say,
was it
man.
was bad. So I
Yeah. So
mean,
futures.
yeah, stock market general, right? We saw a dump in who have been the major gainers, right, of 2020. The really big growth stocks, and we saw some rotation into some of the recovery stocks, right? Some
Hmm.
people actually were up today, surprisingly. Well, a lot of us have been
Who?
panicking. Yes.
Who was up?
Uh
Show me
people
who. Show me them.
people with win, people with recovery stocks, hotels,
Eh.
airlines, Carnival Cruise was up. You name it.
Was it
Yeah, man. Yeah. Rotation. That's what we saw.
CCL up 2% today? Well, that was
Mm-hmm.
better than most things. Win was up 7.5%. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm wondering how was Caesar's Palace? CZN. Okay. This is not the time for me to be looking this up. Um, yeah, man. We woke up this morning and huh, futures were pre-market was absolutely deep
Trash. Yeah.
trash. It was horrible. So we knew what we were getting into. And you know why we knew what we were getting into, Polly? Because I called it on Sunday.
You did. I gotta give you credit, man. Credit where credit's due. You said first couple days gonna be bloody,
Hmm.
and they were.
And here's what I think. You want to know what I think on the outlook here? I know I mentioned it in the text. I think we saw the it's hard to call it the apex, right? I guess you could call it the apex. I think we saw the apex of the volatility that we're going to see this
Mm.
week. I think the rest of the week is going to be boring. I think S&P is going to live, or SPY is going to live between 380 and 385. I think it's not going to go anywhere, and I think growth stocks are going to go back up. In the tech sector took a massive hit, that the S&P didn't. S&P obviously took a big hit, but the tech sector took the huge haircut that we kind of needed it to have.
Yeah,
And
that's
now that it took
exactly
that
right.
haircut,
Yes.
we have room for more hair to grow. I don't know why I'm going down the hair route, but that's
Well,
where we are.
keeps the hair healthy, right? You cut off all those split ends,
Yep,
all that
that's
shit that was
exactly.
making everything a little ugly, making you look a little frizzy. Took a nice little cut. Now you could grow it longer again. Good analogy, Eric.
Thanks, Paulie.
So I
So,
wanted to hear your opinion because you know one of my favorite discords and traders to follow is the Dumb Money, and they
uh-huh.
had a live event today that I watched, and here was basically their synopsis of what they think is going on and how they're going to take their trades moving forwards, which I thought was actually a pretty insightful deduction. So what they're seeing, at least in their opinion, is this market froth has been crazy, right? And all the new traders, everybody that's been getting into trading with all of these apps, have only seen a bull market, right?
Hmm. Yeah.
2 weeks ago, we were at absolute peak euphoria.
Sure.
Everything
Yeah.
was out of control. Valuations were out of control. Everybody was super leveraged on every single kind of trading you could do, right? There was nothing but up. And what they surmised from this is that maybe it's time to start pulling back a little bit from being 100% leverage because people are finally getting educated on what they believe fair valuation is. So, all these growth companies, these tech companies that have been extremely overvaluated in a traditional sense this whole past year, has finally pulled back. And like I said, we saw some of that rotation into the undervalued stocks, the recovery stocks right now, which is actually a smart move because again, what we always say, you wanted to invest your money where nobody was looking, right? So if you bought all these recovery stocks, you made a good amount of money the past couple of days because of the inflows going from overvalued stocks to traditionally undervalued stocks. And so their play moving forward is actually they're going to see what the rest of the week is, but they've decided they're going to, if it seems like the market has gotten smarter, they're going to get smarter too and not go quite so crazy with a lot of their trades.
I can't disagree with that, man. That sounds like great advice.
Yeah, I
It kind of makes me
completely
want to
agree.
do it a little bit.
Yeah, I think that might be the move for myself as well.
The question is, what do you cut? Because when I look at my portfolio, particularly my stock portfolio, it's hard for me to look at any of those things and be like, yeah, I want to cut you.
Yeah,
Everything we have. I mean, I don't know everything you have, but I think a lot of the things that we're invested in are things that we're excited about. The things that are
right.
probably tech based, might be medical based, and do legitimately have the potential to still run based off of, developments in their business.
Right.
So
I
how do you look at one of those things and say, yeah, I love everything that's going on here, but I'm going to take some money out of it?
I honestly think that I have subconsciously been doing this without even realizing it the past couple weeks. So I was riding Workhorse. I saw that coming up to the news event. I dropped that. I had a lot of Ride. I dropped Ride. I sold Ride for a profit. I had a lot of Upwork Monday morning. I sold that right before the big crash. Got lucky there. I think just where we see money grabs, pure money grabs, because we think it's going to be a hype cycle,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what we get rid of right now until we know more. If this reverts back to 2 weeks ago, all of a sudden we're back up, we bounce off that spy level. What was it, the 20 that we bounced off today?
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we bounce hard off this 20, we keep going up, then we keep doing what we were doing, making great money. Great. We stick with the market, where the market's moving, where the money's moving forward. But if we see, like Dumb Money predicted, people getting more intelligent with their investing, then we revert back to less hype, less Reddit combing, more traditional valuations, more traditional looking where more traditional TD chart analysis, right? TA, sorry. More financial analysis and finding the deals and doing a little bit less exciting work, but still work that's going to net you great profits in the future.
Yeah.
And the stocks that we do hold, majority, like DMTK, DMTK,
DM.
DMTK, right? I think that based on both TA and FA and projecting forwards, I still think that's a great company. Don't get me wrong. It's a
Me too.
growth stock that we still got in at a great level, I think.
I agree.
So I'm not necessarily saying let's get out of growth stocks, but let's be smarter about the growth stocks.
Yeah, this is This is a big moment, and you know why? For me in particular, and the reason that is because I have never. Okay, I've been trading for years,
Yeah.
but I would never. I only recently do I have I ever considered myself an investor.
Mm-hmm.
I've had IRAs and all that stuff, but I never really really put a lot of time into things like allocation, hedging,
Right. Right.
diversification. I'm starting to do that now.
Yeah.
But this is the first time with this conversation that I've ever really considered like diversifying into different sectors specifically. If you look at my
Really? Okay.
yeah, if you look at my portfolio, even a lot long portfolios, long-term portfolios, there's still a lot that are just basically focused in either tech, healthcare, or uh, yeah, tech, healthcare, or I don't know if medicine falls into that. Yeah, I guess tech and
Yeah.
healthcare. That's 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 almost completely what I'm invested in. Aside from some broad market indexes, I also have Kathy's ARK K fund.
Right.
Um, but everything else is some sort of tech or medical or both. And I still believe in those things. I think they're going to continue to evolve always, as medicine and tech always continue to do. They're always outpacing themselves, and that's great. But I don't really have any chips in the recovery area, for
Right.
example. And I probably should.
Yeah. I
What are your favorite recovery stocks, Paulie?
um unfortunately I think a lot of the value buys are gone now. Um I personally, when it comes to recovery stocks, I always like buying high end recovery stocks. For example, Win, right? I
Hmm.
I bought Win in the summer of this year, and then I bought a lot more in November of this year because at the $70 valuation they were at the time, it's just a no-brainer. You're going to get, they're a dividend paying company, even though they cut their dividends recently. I mean, money's going to flow in there. And we've seen this last year the one of the largest transfers of wealth ever from the lower class and middle class to the upper class who own all the assets, right? So who has the most money to spend in my mind? The upper class, that upper echelon, that high tier, that big money spender. As soon as this is
Hmm.
over, in my mind, they're going to go out and they're going to have a fucking ball, dude, because they've we've transferred so much money into assets that they've already owned. They've made a killing this year, an absolute killing. So
That's a fair point.
anything that deals in high end goods, luxury goods, uh, Tapestry was a big one that I bought into that just has been an absolute monster. Um, Anything like that that seems undervalued or overlooked will be where I'm looking to put my money.
Paulie, what the hell is Tapestry? And how is it up 165% in 6 months?
So they own like Chanel, uh, high end luxury goods, Gucci, stuff like that.
Okay. Wow. Wow. Uh, okay. And, well, let me ask you this, and then we'll leave you some time. Obviously, we got to move on to crypto. If I don't have any growth allocation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm embarrassed to say it, but
Yeah.
that's the first step to righting a wrong. So if you were me, where would you look? Where would be the first place you would put money? If
Right
where
now,
yeah.
tickers off the top of my head, I don't know. I've been riding this the past couple months. I've been riding the hype stocks with you guys mostly. And my grandpa fund has a couple things. I added PLTR, a big bag of PLTR today because it was sitting beautifully on support. And I see nothing. That is a unbelievably undervalued company right now. It's being traded like an overvalued tech giant, but it is just all you have to do is look into their financials. They're the only level 6 data collection and data analysis agency that the government is moving to the top tier, the top echelon of just data safety and data collection, everything like that. It's they aren't even focusing right now on private sector growth, and they still grew private sector by 105% this past year. I mean, it's unbelievable where they're going to go, and right now they are so undervalued that I had to throw a bunch in. They're like 5% of my grandpa portfolio right now.
Nice.
It's a large bag today. And I'm happy I got it at this price. But that's something we need to look into, and maybe we update everybody on this upcoming week. I think Tattooed Chef is a pretty good one that got hit really hard. They got hammered really hard, but they're adding new SKUs every week. They just opened a marketing department, and they haven't even started this year with their marketing, but they're in Costco's now. They just got accepted in Walmart's. They're expanding their base really quickly, and they haven't done any marketing at all. This is purely people buying their products in these retail stores. So I think they're a good buy. I don't know. Well, we'll have to keep looking, and we'll update everybody, all the viewers. But I know you got a hard dead stop in 6 minutes, so I want to get into crypto too, because I can't tell you how many texts I got asking me if this is the top, if it's all over yet
Lay
again
it on
today.
us. Lay it on us.
So look, viewers, I'm pretty sure the bottom of this drop is going to be 42K. And that's where I have a pretty hefty buy set at. But this is not the end. This is just another healthy correction. And I think people were really panicking because this is not the largest percentage drop we've ever seen, not by a long shot, but because it's such high monetary, like dollar value now, people that saw their money go from, if they bought one Bitcoin, their money go from 30K to 58K all the way down today and yesterday to 46 are panicking, right? Because that's a big drop. That's
Sure.
$8,000 of their portfolio that was gone in one day. That's significant. So people are still not thinking in terms of how much Bitcoin am I worth? They're thinking how much dollars am I worth? And that's why we've gotten a lot of people selling out, panicking today. They think this is the end, and just the idea of losing that much monetary value absolutely blew their mind, and they freaked out. But we're not even close. This is not a bear market. This is still a bull market. But I wanted to bring up two things because I recently talked about on this podcast how I think the traditional market of huge wave up and then a 60% correction when it comes to these 4-year cycles, I think it's broken now. And so let me share my screen, and I have two charts that I want to show you guys based off of psychology. So here's the first one, right? And this is the traditional way you would invest in a Bitcoin market cycle, because it happens for the last 4, it's happened to a T, right? You get these gigantic push up, and all of a sudden it shows some weakness, bounces up a little bit, and then it absolutely tanks through the floor. And this shows kind of the psychology of going through that, right? Optimism, oh shit, this rally's going up. Belief, it's time to throw all my money in. Then all of a sudden you keep going, you get to euphoria, I'm a genius, I'm going to be rich off this is going to the moon, and then Bitcoin totally takes your cake and kind of fucks you over, right? And then you go all the way down past where you bought in, and you're depressed. You think you lost all your money, and it stays in this depression era for a long time. But this right here, when everybody thinks Bitcoin is done, is always the best place to invest all your money, obviously, because this happens again. Now, traditionally, what we've seen is this ride up, this tank down, and then we hang out up here, way higher than the last disbelief. But this chart is just for psychology, right? It's not showing actual markets. What I think this new market is more like this. So what this is called a hype cycle, right? And if we look at it, again, this doesn't really show the percentages, but I believe this right here, this is think of it as the adoption of Bitcoin. We had a couple regular market psychology ups and downs over here. This is today, right? But we're getting to the point now where everybody's they're developing methodologies, they're developing products, major investors are buying in. I believe we're in the slope of enlightenment. And this slope right here is much higher than this hype cycle. This was 2017 in my mind. Early adopters got in, a bunch of negative press, we tanked down, and we recovered. And now all the major players are getting in. New technology is coming out, and everybody's essentially adopting now this crazy new, super beneficial technology that is blockchain, right? And I kind of am thinking of this as the internet, right? The .com bubble. We had in the 90s, right? In the late 90s, we had this massive overvaluation of everything. It tanked down, and then everybody adopted everything when it comes to the internet, right? With the end point being where we are now, with Amazon adopting, online stores. You could do everything today through the internet, and thanks to the internet, we have a much better world. I believe that the .com era is equivalent to today's Bitcoin era. I don't think we're going to see another tank down like you would in a traditional market cycle like that first chart I showed you anymore, because we have so much adoption and so many companies and so many people are utilizing this technology now in their everyday lives, in their businesses, as an investment. I think we're done with these huge tanks.
I think you present a compelling argument, and I have to say, you know what this is reminiscent of is a hot IPO. You know, I mean, I know it's been a longer cycle, right? And this happens multiple times, but you know, this happens when a hyped up IPO hits, stock flies through the roof, smart money sells at the top, comes back down, but the company is fundamentally in great shape, whether it's due to innovation or just, you know, profitability. And so you get an initial spike of everyone saying, "Holy cow!" You get the smart money, and then you head upwards as the company, how do I say, like appropriately?
Well, it gets adopted, right? Yeah, and that's the thing. This technology is revolutionary. It is a game changer for a lot of different things. For shipping, for logistics, for tokenizing assets, like we talked about on a couple Sunday drives ago, right? There are a lot of things that crypto is better at than any of the traditional methods we have. And I really think that this tech is here to stay, and I don't think we're going to see a 70% correction, which is crazy.
Here's hoping we don't.
Yeah. With that, I know, Eric, you got a short timeline today, so we're going to keep it short for everybody. Tell us what you think. Am I wrong? Am I an idiot? Am I just too hopeful? Because the vast majority of my wealth is in Bitcoin. You tell me. Thank you guys for watching. You know what to do. Like, comment, subscribe. Help us make more people more money. And we'll see you all tomorrow. Cash Furnace out.
See you guys.